I just found out a cool article post of the next generation durable medical equipment that had just came out. And this is really exciting, especially for me as an occupational therapist. And I encourage you to check out this Curbed article on industrial design. It's titled Michael Graves Design and CVS Made the Next Generation of Walkers and Canes. This really kind of just shows it. My initial impression of this was like, wow, 3-in-1 commode compared to what we're used to. I work with adults in acute rehab and I really help recommend patients to get this kind of equipment. I even help patients discharge from the acute rehab with this type of equipment as they get it from vendors that we contract with or through Medicare. If you wanted to find out, by the way, a good thing to look at is it covered? There's actually an app for it, which is really cool. Is my test item, what part A, what part B covered? If you go on the App Store even, just a little bit of a sidetrack, but just a really cool thing I found out a while ago. They have it on, I think, Google and Android and the iTunes Store. If equipment that you're interested in is covered. Yeah, pretty cool. I was actually wrong. I've always been talking about how function is important. One thing that I have neglected, I think personally, is design and how design is equally important because in this article, this Curbed article, they talk about how when it comes time to go get durable medical equipment, I'm speaking from mainly like the shower chair and commode side of things. This is something that you would actually, like in this photo, put next to your bed as a 3-in-1 commode. It doesn't look like this. The thoughts of how sometimes when it comes time to buy this kind of equipment, it's kind of like going down the death aisle in the store, like of CVS or Walgreens, of like, oh no, I'm facing my death and, the implications of that. But, people want to live with dignity. And once they have guests over, they don't want to feel embarrassed. Why not have something that's functional that also blends well with the environment and just looks nice, at the end of the day? The majority of people out there would rather have something that looks like this than something that looks like this in their room. This is not promoted by CVS. I'm not affiliated with them. And what's actually pretty cool is that in the article, they mentioned that during the development process, the team talked to dozens of caregivers, occupational therapists. Yay. And I actually made a blog post about this, ways that commodes can be improved. And I actually don't remember what I mentioned, to be honest. But what did I say? One, they are not big enough. Basically, people who are a little bit larger. I feel like commodes are not large enough to accommodate them. Commodes are not comfortable, especially the rolling shower commode. And what else did I say? Standard commodes is definitely a strong opinion I have. I feel like standard commodes should not exist. And then when I say standard, I mean it cannot have the fold down armrests. Basically, it makes transfers much more difficult. Height adjustments, I feel like they should be able to accommodate more height adjustments, such as being for people who are taller and your skin may get pinched. That's definitely a big problem. Basically, these lids are just so flimsy, I think. When they transfer, they kind of lift up on it and it rises up a little bit. And as it goes down at the same time that patients come into a full sit, it gets caught under it and it hurts a lot. I've never had it happen to me, but I feel really bad every time it happens. And if you want to check this out, just type in Michael Graves CVS, probably on Google, and it'll pop up. My PT friends can speak more to this, but they actually, this is actually really interesting. This is actually, it resembles a lot the hurricane.
It's the cane that stands alone. The hurricane.
I love it. When I go shopping, I can let it balance while I get stuff off the shelf. When I reach down, my cane is right there where I left it.
The
That's
hurricane is
definitely
the
functional.
hurricane. Sand, gravel, snow. The hurricane keeps you on the go. It gives me more stability. The hurricane goes everywhere you go. And when you need it, it's out in seconds.
So I just want to comment on this. Yeah, definitely that would be nice, but how many people would actually fold their cane up and put it back into their purse? Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I would leave it collapse. I don't know, maybe you would, but they had to walk there in the first place, collapse it, put it back into their purse. Let's say they probably have to go to the bathroom or something, redeploy it. Yeah, it's kind of cool in concept. This is an excellent cane as long as it doesn't fall apart. I just bought my third hurricane. When the white metal clip broke, sounds like a weak spot in this product, the elastic bungee contracted, it fell out of place and is no longer functioning where it needs to be at a pretty major part. and the cane fell apart. I'm not making this to really knock the product. I think it's a really cool and novel product, but it sounds like a pretty big design issue. And one of the physical therapists that I talk to say they don't like this product because it falls apart or it doesn't hold its weight. And this can be dangerous if someone was relying on a product, which is why you shouldn't modify DME like unofficially, like as occupational therapists would like to modify things, but big liability issue there because people can fall, they can get hurt, they can get injured, they can die. This product seems to really resemble the Hurricane, and it has, a plantable feet. I don't think this is pivoting, but, I still think it's really functional because it can stand by itself. Folding canes, for example, are often so challenging to collapse and open that users just keep them assembled. They're usually made like tent poles with bungee cords strung through hollow rods that you have to press together to assemble and pull apart to disassemble. If you have poor dexterity, weak finger strength, you're not going to assemble and reassemble it. So it goes back to being a regular cane anyways, or someone would rather just use a regular cane because they feel like it's more secure. Maybe they address this problem. Michael Graves' solution: make something that snaps into place. Strum got the idea from it. This is one of the designers. An old folding yardstick Graves had given him years ago and borrowed from its hinge mechanism. Magnets hold the unfolded cane parts together, and there's a large push button to adjust the height. Pretty clever, I think. And so here's the folding cane. It's height adjustable from 30 to 37. Wow, that's pretty nice. And check this out, weight capacity of 300 pounds. So I would love to get my hands on one of these and see how much weight it can withstand. I would, to assemble, to reassemble. Another thing I've noticed is they made a very interesting looking cane here. I think interesting. It also has those same feet here. And these are interchangeable. It also comes, if you see here, a standard single point mode. One thing you have when you have things that are interchangeable, I don't know if there's a screw for it or something on the back, is they may come off easily. Interchangeable feet for easy customization. But when something is easily interchangeable, it can come off easily as well at the same time. So it's kind of the pros and cons of that. This shape, I personally think, is very interesting. I wonder why they decided to go with this. I actually don't know. Functionally standpoint, there's got to be a reason. So here's the 3-in-1 Commode, $189. It's much cheaper, right? Although functionality is important, if something looks nice but is also functional or even better functionally, why not spend more money on it, right? Because it's going to be a piece that is part of you as you age in place in your home. Not everyone is going to be able to afford a product like this, but it is the next generation in the terms of design and function. And a lot probably went into the industrial design thought of why they made something look like this, and from a aesthetic standpoint, it definitely looks better. It's a 3-in-1 design, which provides 3 options. Easy tool-free assembly. So whenever things are tool-free assembly, that's a win in my book. I forgot to mention this. It's 17 pounds and HSA and FSA eligible. A seat dimension for a traditional commode is 13.5 by 15. And I don't know if they mentioned it in this article, so I'd be curious to see how. It's really hard to compare it online. It'd be nice if I can do these side by side, one day. It seems like they have improved on what's currently on the market, meeting it in specs in terms of weight capacity, item weight, 6.3 pounds. And let's look at some other ones, see if they're... Okay, so around 10 pounds on average, maybe. So that was one of the concerns I had with this product, is that it looks heavier. So that is one downside, I think, is that it's almost 17 pounds. I know a lot of people don't move their 3-in-1 commodes, but some people do, and they have to get it out of the way. Or when it comes time to get it out of the way, this added weight could be a problem. I'm only talking about like 7 more pounds, but every pound matters when you have, when you're older, if you're weaker, you have a disability, you have contraindications, you have precautions, you have other gear with you, you have orthotics on you. That added weight could mean a lot more. But it has a removable bucket, splash guard. Okay, that's really cool. Lightweight, that is relative to what, right? But durable and corrosion proof, that's really nice. Swing away armrest. So here I mentioned how standard commodes should never have been made should not exist because they're less functional. I know it's probably cheaper to manufacture it because you have less mechanism. You don't have the hinge and the lock and the handle to release it, to quick release it. But this has a swing away armrest, which is really nice. So I mentioned how it's a 3-in-1. You know, it's kind of a mystery when I had to when I heard about 3-in-1 commode, like how does it work? You know, I had to really conceptualize it. But this picture, wow, they did a really nice job of showing how it acts as a 3-in-1 commode side by side. Here it is as a chair, and it looks really nice as a chair. You're like, I wouldn't actually know that this was a commode if I saw this for the first time. It's kind of hidden away. It reminds me of like a lounge chair that you would find in like in a college or something, in a library or in a lounge area, maybe even at a coffee shop. Like it kind of resembles that. And I think they went with really nice, like neutral colors. I think some of the comments on the CVS website was, why didn't you guys, have more colors? You know, that drives up the cost and production, whereas having a pretty neutral color, this matches the color of most, basically 99% of toilets out there are white, and you have this nice chrome finish, which I think that they put a lot of thought into how the finish will look, what kind of material to use. This actually matches a lot of the fixtures that people have in their homes, like modern fixtures. It looks really similar to this. And it has the flip up lid, and there it is over the toilet again. And here it is with the swing away armrests, which is really nice. And I really like this part, how they have cutouts for it, so it's really easy for your fingers to go in and lift the lid up. It blends, like I said, it blends really nicely. I know they used the toilet that looked really nice with it, but this is most toilets out there, In terms of comfort, it's hard to say because I have not sat on one, but I would probably guess that it's much more comfortable than what's currently on the market. Just in terms of surface area, there's a huge gap right here. You think about someone's bottom, and it's a large surface area, right? And for that large surface area to come in contact, when you have more support, it's generally more comfortable. A larger surface area, whereas the lid plus the side lip, or whatever you call it here, it's going to be more comfortable. You think about it, if you were to sit on a stool versus sit on a large sofa, what's going to be more comfortable like over time, right? And I'm willing to also guess that you're not going to have that problem of that lid here getting caught in your skin. So if you were to sit on this one during transfers, it's probably much less likely because they even made a cutout for it to lift that lid, so it's much deeper. If you were to transfer on this every single time and your skin were to get caught under it, whether it's your bottom or the back of your thigh, you're not going to want to transfer onto it. It hurts. Here is a picture of the adjustable feet. So it has height adjustments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 height adjustments, and let's be the same on all 4 sides. Has that familiar peg system that we're all used to. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here, the traditional one actually has more height adjustments. Now, I don't know the gaps of how far apart each peg is. It'd be nicer if it had a few more height adjustments, whether if it can go lower or higher. I feel like it doesn't really accommodate our population, from those who are smaller to the range of people who are larger. One way I've had to compensate for, like, say, individuals who are shorter is to use a step stool so that they have more comfort, because when the feet have to dangle off of like any chair, it's going to be less comfortable over time, and it could cut off the circulation. And people may spend a lot of time on a commode trying to have a bowel movement, or urinate for that matter. This base here seems to be wider too. You have this circle right here. It's hard to tell from the picture, but it looks like they went with a really wide rectangular base for the Michael Graves product, and that's nice. It adds more stability. Commodes that I've transferred on, and these are the white ones. If you guys, occupational therapists, probably know what I'm talking about. Those white colored commodes, they're really wobbly. Or when you just nudge a little bit, it feels like it's going to slide across the room or something. And it's really sketchy. But I feel like this product is probably really stable, and that's really important. When products are this cheap, they probably have to compromise somewhere, the argument of price versus quality. That's why my rehab aid really doesn't advise that people go on Amazon and buy the cheapest product that they can necessarily, if you can afford a little bit more expensive one. And I understand everyone's financial situation is different. Sometimes the DME out there it's just, even if if it doesn't break apart or fall apart right away or like ever, if it's just like flimsy, it's not really stable, feels like it doesn't really improve your confidence, right? So, and that's important psychologically in mental health. I think they should have went with a more contrasty color. Maybe made this like white or something to make it more noticeable so that some people may not even know this exists, you know, because when it's so nicely designed that it kind of blends together and it's like a nice functioning piece. Some people may not even know that it folds down. I'm not going to say that most people will miss this, but I would have liked this to stand out more. But looks like this is what the bucket looks like. It's nice and big, which is important. And I know this video is running a little long for talking about a 3-in-1 commode, but I get excited about this stuff maybe because I'm an occupational therapist. And the shower chair, I'm just going to go over really quickly. It depends on the person who's using it. Having this backrest is, of course, nice because it adds some added comfort and stability. Sometimes you might want to just use it as a stool because you have more room to move around. When you're transferring on it, you can go at it from different angles, say 45 degrees from it. But a lot of times people do like that backrest because you can use it to kind of give you a cue when you're reaching back for it to know where it is. There's more of a surface. You can find it easier. One thing that's nice about a stool is that, especially if you have a larger body habitus, this backrest may get in the way in which you would have to, you know, sit a little bit forward, right? And that decreases the surface area that you're on. But if you have a larger body habitus, removing that backrest could allow you to sit further back on it and feel more comfortable. This is really, really cool. I just noticed it has a towel rack. How cool is that? You can like hang a towel right off the back of it. So you don't have to like, you know, you can't put your towel like, if you have a small space, especially like on the ground or because it'll get wet, you can put it farther outside and that makes it more difficult to reach for. You might not even be able to find it. Having it right there is kind of nice. I wonder how you would keep your towel dry during the shower, but I don't know. It's interesting though. The seat angle easily wicks away water, so that's pretty cool. It's really impressive how much they went to the design of having even the seat angle a little bit, kind of like the roof of a house, so that water doesn't pool on the top here. And you know, which would you rather have, that cheap milk carton looking plastic or something that's like this, you know? Personally, I would go with something like this, and if it costs a little bit more and I was able to afford it, I'd rather have something that looks like this. This doesn't have armrests though, so that's interesting. It'd be really nice if another version of this had with armrests was on the market. This collection, you know, they're part of the collection, matches the 3-in-1 commode. So you can technically have both. You can have the 3-in-1 commode, say a commode over the toilet, and this design here as a chair in the shower. So you could have both products and they would be matching. So that's really cool. Interesting. I wonder if this part is adjustable. It looks, or just removable. I think it's just removable because I don't see holes here for adjustment ranges. I think it's only you could either have it or you don't. Another thing I think that is nice about this is it's easily cleanable. It looks to be like a flat kind of plastic, and that's nice for a surface to be clean because when you have something like this, you have more kind of like holes and nooks and crannies that it makes drying, and just in terms of infection, I really appreciate something that's more easily clean and it's flattered. You know, more bugs can live inside these nooks and crannies here, and it's harder to dry. Well, yeah, with the shower chair, I think it looks really nice. In terms of function, I would like to also see the armrests be removable as well. So in summary, I think this is a really cool step in the right direction. And what I forgot to mention is that these products are available at CVS, you know, so you can literally walk into an aisle at CVS or order it online. Product that looks, personally, I think, much more nicer, much more modern, yet be functional at the same time and not look like the more old school, cheap looking, screaming, I have a disability or I'm sick or I'm injured kind of durable medical equipment. I think a lot of thought went into these products. A product like this shows that something can be functional, yet also look good. And in the Curbed article, they mentioned how a lot of people may be hesitant to use durable medical equipment, no matter how functional something is, if they don't feel like using it because it may be embarrassing, they think it looks ugly, it makes them stand out, it's embarrassing, you have less dignity, people are less inclined to use a product like that. If it checks both boxes of looking nice and being functional, I think that's definitely a win. So I hope these products do really well because I think this will help with the adoption it's definitely nice to have more options out there, more competition compared to what we're used to on like Amazon. You type in like durable med equipment, the same old stuff. And it's almost like they like read my blog post and answered my request to how to improve some parts of a commode. And I never thought I would see the day where they make actual better commode. All you future occupational therapists out there, this is what you can do. It's not really just only working with patients, but your experience or your expertise can go into other areas of practice, such as consulting in industrial design, assistive technology, product design. And this is just really cool to see how occupational therapy is actually impacting the lives, of everybody in society and making it better. Anyways, check these products out if you're really interested in. They're available at CVS. My name is Jeff, the OT Dude. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.